Next, we're going to unbox the triple monitor stand and assembly that to go with our Kanaan grid. These are the parts you would get in the triple monitor or the single monitor stand. So you have 2 feet, 2 uprights, cross member, base of plate, lots of corner brackets, nuts and bolts, Allen wrenches, and pipe covers. So we'll start assembling those now. We're going to start by doing the feet first. I'll focus on one at a time here. This is adjustable as well. This is how far you put, where you put the foot. So I would recommend putting it pretty far back because you're going to have weight on the forward side. When this is standing up, you'll have weight wanting to push this way. So it'll be better to have it probably a third of the way from the end. Probably be a good place to start. And then if you add the triple monitor arms, probably even a little further back. So we're probably going to start about 4/5 of the way back to start with, since most of our weight is going to be pulling that direction. So we're going to have 2 corner brackets there, 2 on the outside. So we just need to slide in the T-nuts. So 68 millimeters is where we're going to do center post. That's a good estimate, and then we'll just match the other foot. Before we attach any corner brackets, we need to slide 4 into this as well. So here's another tip I've learned when putting these together is when you're mounting corner brackets, you're going to have 2 ways of motion. You can adjust this way, but usually when you're mounting, if you were mounting on something like this, you can't adjust up and down this way because the tracks are a certain distance apart. So you always want to mount the screw on your bolt, pushing it all the way outside as possible from the corner bracket so that it's up here, so that the 2 heads of the screws don't interfere with each other and so that you can get to them both and tighten. So one side usually you'll be able to adjust, the other side you won't. It'll be right in the middle. So then the other one you want to pull out as far as you can so that you can get to the head of it to tighten it. And again, finger tight until we get it stood up and make sure the uprights are level before fully tightening things down. So I've just turned this upright so that I can see better and get to the bolt easier. So that will definitely help visually. I am going to go ahead and tighten these down because I know I've measured them, they're where I want to be. I'm going to tighten down the ones on the upright first, and then I'll check level and tighten down the ones on the base. Just a warning, all of this is aluminum, so you can't tighten infinitely hard, but you do want a nice, good, snug, tight fit. Okay, so I was checking this, and at least on this table, this is perfectly level, so I don't have to do any adjustments. So now I'm going to tighten down the 4 along the base and lock those into place. And then we'll do the other upright, and we'll come back when we get both uprights done. Okay, so the next part is we're going to mount the cross arm for the monitor, center monitor, and mount the base plate. I have it set on the floor, but I have the legs pointing this way, so the base plate will mount on this side of the crossbar. But the most important step at this point is before we mount the crossbar to the uprights, you want to put the M6 T-nuts in the slots first, because you're going to cap it at both ends and you won't be able to get them in. Now, these are roll-in, so you could put them in with your fingers and twist them in. That's a perfectly acceptable way to do it if you forget, but it's easier to do it beforehand, before you put the crossbar on the uprights. So we're just going to slide those in now to use later. Now, when you do that, just make sure you remember to turn it the way toward the front, where the front legs are. Not this way, because your base plate will mount on this side, not this side. So, T-nuts in. We have two in each rail, at the top and the bottom. We're going to have a corner bracket on top and bottom on each side. And I'm just going to mount these flush right at the top for now, and we can adjust later depending on the size of your monitor. Now we also need to put T-nuts on the top rails and the bottom rails on each side. Ready to mount first side. I'm just going to do the top one first on each side. That looks pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is mount the base plate on this side, since I have the feet pointing toward me. And so it's just 4 countersunk screws into the base plate this way, into the M6 T-nuts that we put in before we mounted the crossbar. One special note here is when you're mounting your monitor or TV or whatever you're going to put here, you probably have to get your own hardware solution to screw this to the back of your monitor, because most monitors come with a stand or something and the screws are kind of short. So this is a thicker plate than what it's probably used to going through, so you'll probably have to go to the hardware store and get your own metric screws in order to mount that, just as a warning. So that's your single monitor stand that will fit around the rig we put together earlier. But now we're going to show you how to transfer them. If you bought the triple monitor stand, we're going to add the 2 arms now so that you can mount 2 more monitors, one on each side. So the last piece we're going to put on are the 2 arms for the triple monitor stand. But I just want to go over a few things first to show you all of your options. According to the instructions, you have 4 mounting points here. It's designed for 2 of the mounting points to mount to the cross member and 2 points to mount to the upright. When you do that though, there's no adjustability in and out for different size center monitor. So if you have a big monitor and this works for you, then follow the instructions and mount it just like that. If, however, you have a smaller monitor and need to move these inside, then just mount all 4 on the cross member only. And then you could slide this way and that way, back and forth. The only downside to that is then, because of the way this cross member is mounted to the upright at only 2 corner brackets, you might experience a little bit of sag just due to weight and the torquing on the 80/20. So another option you could do is if you have a smaller monitors, heavier models, maybe older monitors, but anything that would induce a little sagging, even if you mount all 4 onto this, is that you could modify how you assemble the single monitor part. You could take this cross member and attach it in front of the uprights on both sides. That would then give you the ability to move in and out, and it would give more structural stability to this union right here. So then you could just take these corner brackets, move them here, put the bracket in front, and mount them that way. You could do that on each side. That would give you the stability and the adjustability you would need for pretty much any monitor size you have. we're going to assemble it according to the instructions so that you can see how that's done, and then you could follow this advice if you need to adjust for your monitor sizes. As I said, it's easy, simple enough. There's only 4 points of connection, 2 here in the cross member and 2 on the upright. Now, since we did the assembly for the center monitor stand as instructions, we did not preload any T-nuts in these rails here. So we're going to do that by rolling in our T-nuts, and that's what these are called with the balls. They're called roller T-nuts. It's easy enough to roll these in if you don't have access to an end to slide them in. So the way you just do that is you just slide it in horizontally first, and then twist it by just pushing your finger on the top side. And you may need to use a pair of needle nose pliers or a nail or something, but it's pretty simple. If you have any fingernail whatsoever, it pops right in. So I'll do that again so that you can see, because we're going to put 4 in, and I'll put them in so that they're symmetrical. Just slide one in, get the ball in first, and then just use your fingernail to kind of push it until it falls into the tracks. And there you go. So simple enough, and an alternative to sliding them in from the ends. Fingernail, of course. Now this one's going to be a little more stubborn, which is okay. It just takes a little wiggling, and it works. I think I find it better. It works better if you put the ball on the bottom and slide it in that way. I think it twists in a little easier than it does if you do the ball on top. Yeah, it definitely does easier. These outer 2 will mount on this outside rib, so it's all the way flush out of the end here. I preloaded both T-nuts here, and I'm going to slide them both into the rail instead of trying to get that screw started where it's very tight and I can't see. So this will save you a little time if you want to try this at home too. Just kind of guide these in as you go down, and they're both now in place. That's a lot easier than trying to get that screw started. Yeah, you have to do this 1/4 turn at a time because it's so tight in here you just can't get to it any other way. So it's very slow to tighten this one down. So I would do this one first, and then you can twist as needed once you get your monitor on, and tighten the other 3 a lot easier. And then come back and to get this one final little twist to lock it into place. And again, I'm not going to spend time leveling these right now because there's no monitors attached. There's a lot of custom aligning you would have to do for your monitors. So again, I would finger tight these until you are ready to get them in place, and then have someone kind of support this to make it nice and level before you do the final tightening on all 4 of these screws. Okay, so we're putting the last arm on, and again, I've preloaded the T-nuts onto the side that mounts here, and we'll feed those in one at a time. Get the ball started, and then push it on through. And get the ball started, and push it on through. It slides right down into place, and it will make it much easier to tighten this down in the long run. So we're done with everything. We've got the arms up, we've got our full triple monitor stand, we've got a race rig. So the last part is just putting the end caps on the triple monitor stand. So here we go.